And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here at the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. Inside Sports Fantasy Football, that'll be coming up around the corner. Joe Soro hopefully will be joining me here in a little bit. He is Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. And of course, the guy behind Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. We had the legend, the _legend 350 on earlier. Always great to have him here. Please go ahead and check out his YouTube channel, the _legend 350. Also, as well, our good friends, the Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com of Jamie Sweet. Get better, Jamie. Hope he's going to be feeling better pretty soon. And Laker Tom. Also, as well, of course, John Costas, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Stone Hansen at report_court, and our good friends Empire Jeff TV, Lakers in 5. Also as well, of course, John McCallion channel and Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Yo, absolutely. I don't know, Roy. Joe said he might be on his way, but we'll see what happens about that. He said he would be available, but he's on the phone, he says. So we'll see what happens. But I told you we would be doing 2 shows today because we didn't do one yesterday. So thought we'd make up for it today with 2 shows. But you won't know that. You wouldn't know that. And you will not know that unless you like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. What's up, Roy? What's up, Intel? Great to have you here. What's up, Juan? Great to have everybody starting up here at the Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford. Team USA is here in Las Vegas with a tune-up against Team Canada tonight at the Thomas and Mack. I know my family members are leaving now, trying to escape from the arena back into the heat, trying to get home. So hopefully safe travels there. But it was Team USA in its first appearance on the way, hopefully, to a gold medal run tonight against Team Canada. And it didn't start off so well. Team Canada got off to a early double-digit lead as it closed out to the end of the first quarter. They got up, still were up by, I think, 21-14. Very sloppy turnovers, very sloppy play, which is always expected amongst Team USA. You get these guys that come together first time in a while, and it always looks very sloppy at first. 8 turnovers in that first quarter, but the Team USA Lakers, aka LeBron James and Anthony Davis, helped propel a turnaround along with Anthony Edwards in the second quarter as they started to force the turnovers, started to pick up the tempo, and started to hit shots, and eventually did take a lead at the half. And in the third quarter and the fourth, decided to go ahead and basically put it into cruise control, not exactly distancing themselves greatly, but still a good performance, especially on the defensive end at times. Drew Holiday really did a good job playing well against the guards, matching up very well there. LeBron James providing some good rebounding and also out on the break. But with Joel Embiid fouling out halfway through the third quarter, it was up to Anthony Davis to spearhead the defense, and he did a good job of doing that. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 block shots for Anthony Davis. A really good performance from him. Anthony Edwards had 13 on his own. And, of course, LeBron James, he did okay with as far as 3 for 7, 3 for 5 from 2. Got a free throw in there, so he got 7 points himself. And Team USA, overall, okay, not too bad. Got the job done with the 86-72 victory, and basically just got off to a good start. We didn't get embarrassed in front of the home crowd here in the United States. It was a solid victory over a solid Team Canada team, especially with that backcourt of Jamal Murray and SGA back there providing some issues. But Dylan Brooks always seems to play better in international and FIBA ball than he does in the NBA, but still provided some good chemistry for Team Canada. But USA was too much for Team Canada today. They shot 50% overall from the field, only 30% from behind the arc, and didn't shoot their free throws well. But the key stat for me was 9 blocks to 1 for Canada and 11 steals to 5 for Canada. So that's 20 stocks Team USA had. I think that was the difference right there for you. So definitely looking forward to seeing what we can do if we can get this going and keep it rolling. Next week, it is Team, I think, Australia, the Aussies, our good friends of the Aussies, but I think it's in Abu Dhabi, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be a Monday game at noon Eastern time, just to let everyone know. That'll be on FS1 again. I know that people couldn't find it. I know people were complaining. Where's the game? Where's the game? The game was on FS1, Fox Sports 1, and will be on next week at Fox Sports 1 as well. Joe is 6'5". I think Joe's 6'3", 6'4". I'm 6'2", and he was still about an inch or two taller than me when we met up in Temecula, or near Temecula, a few months ago. So, yeah, he's a big guy, Joe is. He goes about 6'4", 6'5", 280. So, yeah, Joe can handle his drinks. There you go. But it is Team USA with the victory, 86-72. The Lakers, not so good, leaving the California Classic. In case you weren't here earlier with Legend 350, Joe Soro, myself, the Lakers lost after losing, I guess, or giving up the final 12 points in the fourth quarter to get handed a 80-76 loss to go 0-3 in the Summer League season as they come and head to Las Vegas here in the not too distant future, starting this weekend. The Las Vegas Summer League starts on Friday, so definitely looking forward to seeing that. 6'5" with shoes. Yes, we got to go ahead of our shoes. He was wearing shoes at the time I saw him, and that we had lunch together. So I'm going to say 6'5" in shoes. Okay, Alan, no problem. Kurt Affair, there you go. How you doing, my friend? Good to have you here. Sydney, hello. Good to have you here as well. Darren in the chat, always good to have you here as well. But it is Team USA getting the victory once again, 86-72. Comfortable second half for them. It didn't seem like they were challenged or pushed very much in that second half. They were able to go ahead and sustain it. And got worried there for a little bit because Joel Embiid did foul out halfway through the third quarter because it's only 5 fouls in FIBA play. I think this is going to be a reoccurring issue for Team USA. I think that Joel Embiid, who is not used to FIBA play, is going to get into a lot of foul trouble. So I think the one thing that we do have over every other team is depth. I think the fact that we can bring off the bench Anthony Edwards, also as well Anthony Davis, to bring guys like that off the bench really does help. And the fact that we didn't even have Kevin Durant tonight or Derrick White, who just recently joined the team when Kawhi Leonard left. Yes, so definitely looking forward to seeing what Team USA can do. Bam Adebayo, you can also bring him off the bench. He got 7 rebounds for you and 4 points. So Jason Tatum, 4 points himself, 8 points himself, coming off the bench as well. Tyrese Halliburton got 6 assists. So again, I think a key for Team USA is how well this bench plays, because it does have the depth better than any other country out there. I think that is its advantage. So we'll see if the starting 5 does not play to the level that you needed to. You can go ahead and say you don't have to panic too much, because again, when you've got guys like Edwards and Davis coming off the bench playing against the other countries' number 2 teams, that's where we may be able to catch up and get ahead. Yeah, Embiid probably, he's hurt still. Yes, Alan, but he is not used to what the FIBA play, as far as according to what I heard in the commentary. I think he gets in foul trouble, or will get in foul trouble a lot. So that's going to be something we're going to have to see and maintain over the course of the play. in the pool play because they do have Slovenia, they do have Sudan, and I think they have another game after that beyond that. Oh, Puerto Rico, as far as in their pool play. So we'll see what happens again. I think that as long as if Joel Embiid stays out of foul trouble, I think it makes it much easier for Team USA. But if Joel Embiid comes out of the game with foul trouble, that makes it a little more interesting because again, Anthony Davis will get more time, and obviously he was able to go ahead and play. Div X-Ray tonight, you could say the best player was none other than Anthony Davis. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 block shots. Anthony Edwards, who has said he is the guy that's supposed to be the number one option on the team. He played well too, 13 points coming off the bench as well. So it's very interesting to see how Team USA is going to have this laid out as far as the rotation is concerned. Again, we didn't even have Kevin Durant, who had a slight calf strain. He didn't play. So where is he going to fit into all this? I liked Devin Booker in the starting lineup tonight because there were times where they were searching for points and found it with Devin Booker. So I don't know. I just think that it was a nice casual start that for the Team USA. I think they got off to a rocky start, and you guys are going to see that with as far as the sloppy play, the 8 turnovers. These guys are all brought together. They don't play as often or as well together as the other countries do. So you will see efforts where it is a lot of sloppy balls. So Div X-Ray says, who started and what was the starting lineup? Yeah, I know it was hard to find everyone. Fox Sports 1 had the feed for tonight's game at the Thomas & Mack Center. Their starting lineup, because remember, no Kevin Durant in the starting lineup tonight because he was injured. So it was Joel Embiid at center, LeBron James and Devin Booker were your forwards, and Stephen Curry and Drew Holiday were your guards. And Drew Holiday, really solid effort himself as far as 11 points, but the blocks, 2 block shots, very timely block shots against the backcourt of Canada, 5 rebounds. I thought he was really solid as well. He might have played the best of all the starters, in my opinion. Stephen Curry, he had, let me see, he was 4-7, and as far as, I think he had 11 points himself. Actually, 9. Yeah, he had a good game as well. But yeah, Drew Holiday, I think defensively was a menace for Canada. So I think that really should have that really made out. Joe, shut up, Joe. Get on the show, man. If you're going to talk like that, AD should have started. Well, you would think because he played much better tonight than Joel Embiid did. But Joel Embiid, I think they think in certain matchups is probably going to fare better. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Tatum is not starting for Team USA. Alan says, so you have to be born in America like when you run for president? No, Alan, because Joel Embiid did become a citizen. So that made him eligible to play on Team USA. But in Joe's mind, it might be different because Joe, as you remember last year in FIBA play, what's up, Jeff? AD in the dunker spot was strong. He did play very well. Again, 11 rebounds for him, 4 block shots and 10 points. Yes, he's hanging his Bronny posters. Yes, baby Joe is, absolutely. But Joe, if you remember last year, and again, FIBA ball did not like the players that were not, I guess, born in their respective countries playing for different teams. So that's always a sore spot. Get in here, Joe. Get in here, Joe. So I know the crowd wants to go ahead and hear what you have to say. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Team USA with a comfortable 86-72 victory tonight in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center over Team Canada. Team Canada was led tonight by, I think it was SGA. SGA struggled tonight, 3 of 10. Kelly Olynyk seemed to be their best player right now, 4 of 5, 1 3-pointer. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get the guys off the board as far as the U.S. because Team USA dominated the boards. I think that was also a big key as the U.S. out-rebounded Canada by 53-48 as well. So yeah, definitely a good solid win to get everything started. Next game again is on Monday. FS1 has it again from Abu Dhabi as they face off against Team Australia. Empire Joe says it's not a day that ends in Y if Joe doesn't headbutt his webcam in a rant. These people want to see it. Well, he has the link, so it's up to him to come on. SB USA was better today. We'll see if they're going to play better in Abu Dhabi against Australia. I'm never going to take anything from granted now in international play because Team USA, when you think they're going to dominate, when you think they're going to play well, when you think they're going to have everything all together, they seemingly take a step back or don't take their competition seriously and end up, getting upset here and there. Where was Trey Young, the guy Hawks traded for Doncic? Trey Young is not in the mix for Team USA, but the latest Team USA player is Derrick White, which I know that Jaylen Brown, the finals MVP, had an issue with, even though it's his fellow teammate, because Jaylen Brown was thinking he was going to get the spot after Kawhi Leonard left the team earlier yesterday, I believe it was. So Sports Baby says USA has a team of washed up old players. Age is certainly could be an issue, Sports Baby. I mean, LeBron, even though he looked good out there tonight, looked very quick and spry. He is closing in on 40. Yes, you do have Curry, and also as well, you have Kevin Durant in their mid-30s. So we'll have to wait and see. But the U.S. does come away with a victory, 86-72. They are just playing friendlies right now as they head over seas and start getting into the thick of things as far as playing for a gold medal. Jeremy says, Jerry, who are those random USA players getting subbed to the game at the end? Never heard of them. Yes, they are not going to be part of the regular Team USA. I think they're part of Team Select, but it was Nigel Hayes-Davis, Mika Potter, Langston Galloway. Those were, if you remember Langston Galloway, he has been a journeyman around the league, but I think they're just they're providing for as far as Team Select, as far as they were playing against them in practice, whatnot, and they just happened to be at the end of the bench. I guess that's okay. I guess that's legal in feeble play. I didn't know that was possible too, and I saw them come out there. I was like, okay, all right, that's kind of different. All right. But I don't think that they're going to be on the roster officially or be able to be utilized once we actually get into the Olympic pool games, which starts near the end of the month. So we'll see what happens there. And I believe it starts off with Slovenia for Team USA and then goes Slovenia, Sudan, and then Puerto Rico. DivX Ray says the Lakers will be 6th, 7th, or 8th this season, in my opinion. That could be a much shared opinion by many out there, since the Lakers did stand pat on a team that did finish 7th. Well, they actually finished 8th, but then they moved their way up into the 7th. There you go. But yes, good old Langston Galloway. That's Empire Jeff just said. Is this broadcasted on radio? As far as the game was on Fox Sports 1. Yes, the game was on Fox Sports 1, just to let everybody know, and will be on Fox Sports 1 Monday at noon. For anybody out there that's available as far as Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on Monday at noon from Abu Dhabi. It'll be Team USA versus Team Australia. Yes. What channel was it? At ESPN? No, Fox Sports 1. They are a extremely poor man's version of ESPN. They are very far behind in the ratings behind ESPN, but they occasionally get some things like, in this case, Team USA that was playing for them. But once the actual Olympic play starts, I believe it'll transition over to NBC and Peacock. Frank's here. What's up? Yeah. Joel couldn't score on our. Yes, yes, Powell did play. Amazing how that is. He even tried to put up a 3, your guy Powell. I thought that was funny, but yes. Frank said Dwight got hit in the face again. That is so typical of him, SMH. DivX Ray says, hopefully someone asks for Powell in the trade then. I think Frank would love to give any team right now Dwight Powell right now off the books because, yes, for long-suffering Mavs fans, Dwight Powell has been a pain in their side and just seemingly like a cockroach just seems to come back and find his way back into the starting lineup because of injury or something will happen that Dwight Powell seems to go ahead and, get him some type of burn on Dallas. And that, from what I'm seeing on We Talk Mavs, almost as bad as THJ hate is really something to see. DivX Ray, can you give me your take on Bronny from what you've seen so far? I can tell you that Bronny has been Bronny. And I say that, he scored 5 points a game at USC and so far has given up 2 games where he scored 4 points and 3 points. Yeah. Offense has really been non-existent for Bronny. I think that Bronny's best attributes right now are reading passing lanes. He's got quick hands. So if you're careless with the ball, he will strip it from you. I think that I've seen his vision as far as someone who could, as a secondary playmaker or secondary passer, might be acceptable, but he's not going to initiate your offense, and he's certainly not going to be able to finish your offense right now at this point because his shot is not consistent. The stroke doesn't look good yet, and he at times he just goes and disappears. You don't remember he's out there for several minutes at a time, and that's not good. And I think that the coach needs to go ahead and see what he can do a little bit more. But I know the focus is on Dalton Connect with good reason because that's the key. DivX Ray, how was his defense? Again, his hands were good. He stayed in front of his man a lot better than Dalton Connect or Maxwell Lewis. Those two guys were atrocious on defense, absolutely atrocious on defense. And if Dalton is going to be able to play minutes, he's going to have to play at least acceptable defense. So it's going to have to step up on that end of the court. But he did get burned a couple times, and he did get singled out. I don't know if there's a play, if you can look it up on social media, I believe it was by Williamson, if I'm not mistaken, the guy, one of the leading scorer, Alondis Williams, who dribbled through his legs, then spun around Bronny and got an and one on Castleton and made Bronny look real stupid. So for the most part, Bronny was acceptable, but again, he's just not a big part of the offense right now. And it's kind of interesting. He's almost like a bystander. He reminds me a lot of Maxwell Lewis last year, where he just seemed like a bystander running up and down the court. And that's all he was doing was getting exercise. So yeah, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, whoa, you guys are just going off on the chat there. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this thing. Kurt Affair says, Cooper Flagg is heralded as one of the top prospects in next year's draft. He'll be playing at Duke and playing really well in the NBA. Yes, he did show out yesterday in practice. Very impressive. I know that he had a couple of really nice baskets against Anthony Davis. And I think he did have really some good on the defensive end as well. So, yeah, he seems like he's going to be that next it player after Victor Wembanyama. So we'll see. But again, it is the Lakers fast break. Team USA did win 86-72. Started to space it out in the second half. Again, their defense and their depth providing the keys for this game today. The second team started, of course, really separating between the depth of Canada and the depth of the United States. Anthony Davis, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 block shots, and, of course, also as well Anthony Edwards, who says he's the number one option on Team USA, getting 13 himself to lead Team USA in scoring. So, yeah, definitely want to see what they do next week against Australia. Our Australian friends out there will be very interested to see what happens. 9 a.m. Pacific, of course, U.S. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be live from Abu Dhabi, and that'll be on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 or FS1 if you have cable here in the States. So, of course, it is Gerald Glassford. Yes, you can smell. My gosh, Joe Sorrell's going off in the chat. Get on over here, Joe. Provide some thoughts on Team USA or provide some thoughts on today's game. Earlier today, you did a good job of that for the follow-up of what we saw with the Lakers, unfortunately losing 80-76, falling to 0-3 on the Summer League season. Their season starts, I believe, with the Summer League season in Las Vegas, I believe on Friday, and we'll have it for you right here, I believe, on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, unless I'm at the game. I've been told which days I'm going to be able to go ahead and make out yet, so when I find out, I'll give people a shout out and let you know where that I'm there at the Thomas and Mack. So we'll see what happens, but it is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, Bronny is not looking good, Sydney. Not a good start. He is looking like someone who scored 5 points in college. I unfortunately, DivX-Ray, I can't stream it. I can only go ahead and stream our conversation on playback, but I can't stream the game due to copyright violations. Sports Baby says I use IPTV to watch all the games. There you go. IPTV, I guess, helps out Sports Baby a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, I only can stream on playback.tv our conversations. I cannot go ahead and stream the actual game for our audience that's there. Yeah, they shut me down. Oh, and look here. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell himself. Simblades with y.com. Are you surprised with today's game? That A, they started off very sloppy. B, Joel Embiid got in foul trouble and fouled out early in the third quarter. And C, Anthony Davis picked up the mess and got the team moving.
I was able to catch highlights here in the last 20 minutes while I was conversing with the crowd and listen in on a conference call. I saw a team looking pretty confident, if anything. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're worried. As long as no one gets injured, I think they've got this in the bag, in my opinion.
Who was expecting Bronny to look good, Darren? It wasn't us.
Oh, man. Lakers ball right now. Woo!
Tell us what's going on.
Lakers ball is on the Bronny James train.
Oh my
They're
God.
talking about this guy like, hey, he's got real good defensive stances, and he's young, and he's going to learn, and he's got spunk. And I'm like, what the are you talking about? Are you watching with your face or your ass?
I think it's the latter, not the former.
I'm not talking about Fantasyland, the board game. I'm talking about basketball. Basketball. Just focus on what Bronny's doing during the game. Oh, well, it's Summer League, and it's his first games. Okay. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see him in training camp. And then you're going to hear like, oh, he got a layup this one time. And everybody's going to be excited. Then preseason will start. And he'll get in like at the, 2-minute mark in the second quarter. And he'll get this perfect screen, pull up for a jumper, and it'll hit nothing but net. And it's going to be a highlight on ESPN.com. He made one basket today, and there's a highlight of it on ESPN. You all suck ass. Seriously. You are why there are cults, why there are religious cults, why there are Satanist cults. You're the reason why Jim Joneses of the world exist and Charles Manson. You are so easily manipulated Not because you're dumb, but because you want to be manipulated. If you were dumb, I'd be like, yeah, they're dumb. What do you want me to do? But y'all submit to it. All in the name of what? Let's hope. Let's dream. It's real. No, it's not. And he's worse than JHS. He's worse. So, I didn't want this to be a Bronny James bashing. I don't even want to bring his name up, but y'all keep asking me for this.
Darren brought it up. Don't look at me.
That's what
we were expecting Bronny to look good.
He's not going to work, folks. Not because I don't want him to. It's just not going to happen. It's over. This was a scam. A scam by his dad, by idiots who run the Lakers to get this kid a 3-year guaranteed contract and for LeBron to have his moment. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. This is a giant jerk-off. I don't know. I don't want to keep repeating this every show. But how can I not? I'm plugging in the ESPN and there's a highlight. His only basket. They have a highlight of his only basket.
It was a layup.
It's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. So as far as the USA is concerned, I'm not really concerned. I think they're equipped. I think they're ready. Speaking of Embiid, I'm still trying to figure out how that guy got on the American team. Really, I don't really know. I don't know what these guys are doing. This goes back to my discussion about being in fantasy land. People, half of Canada are guys that were born in America. How are they Canadian? I drove through Canada one time. Does that make me a Canadian? We can be whatever we want now, right? Okay. I am a remote control.
Hey, Kyle Anderson being Chinese.
You don't like that?
The most funny, most.
I'm gonna call you a bigot. What was that?
I said Kyle Anderson last year playing for China. I thought that was probably the.
That was one of the. That was what triggered all this, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks about as Chinese as I look Mohawk Indian.
Again, it's something where FIBA allows this to happen, Joe, because they want to. You might want to cover your ears for this. Level the playing field for everyone else, and not have it be a Team USA run each and every time.
Level this. How about that? That's an old one. For those of you who don't know, you can level this up. You know where? You lying sacks of shit. You're all liars. You're all manipulators. You're all full of shit. You're all fake. You're fake. I hate fake people.
But Zach,
I could pass for a light-skinned Indian for sure. Yeah, I could do that.
Native American. That. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But
Indian as in Indian. And the Indian. Both Indians.
Div X-Ray says, if the Lakers are not in the play-on by trade deadline, do you trade LeBron for first-round picks and young players?
What?
He has a no-trade clause, Div X-Ray. He is one of 2 players in the league with his new deal besides Bradley Beal. So you can't trade him if you want to, unless he actually specifically asked to be traded. Which, he might be so frustrated, but why would he want to go away and be away from his son? He worked so hard to get him here. Yikin. Come on, Yikin.
Are we going back to talking basketball, or are we going to talk about this charity event that everybody keeps talking about?
They want to talk about the charity event. They want to believe. They want to believe Bronny is going to work out.
Why would LeBron ask for a no trade clause? You think Jeannie or Rob have the nuts to trade him?
He is one of those players in the league.
These two cowards. These cowards don't have any freaking balls to trade him. What was that for?
He is one of 2 players in the league that has it, Joe.
I would never give any player a no trade clause ever.
Mark,
Maybe Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, but that's it.
Okay, well, I don't know who the other 2 are that you say has it as Moses Jones, but again, I just know Bradley Beal and LeBron is the ones that have been announced as having no trade clause. But if there are 2 more, then good for them that they got it.
The Washington Wizard ownership and management should be forced to sell the team for giving Bradley Beal a no trade clause.
I thought he looked good today. I thought LeBron looked spry today. I don't think he looked old out there. He didn't have to play that many minutes. What, 20 minutes, I think, tops? Let me see. 19 minutes. So it's not like he was really pushing himself, but he did look like he was out on the break almost every time when he got the opportunity, Alan. So I thought he looked okay out there. He even tried for a couple minutes on the defensive end. So
that's nice.
Frank says, why Beal isn't on the Team USA if he's got a no trade clause? But Joe, let me ask you this. Team USA, Kawhi Leonard, as expected, his knee isn't working right, did give out, decided to leave. Who would you have put in there in his place?
I mean, every name in the NBA pretty much is in.
Jalen Brunson, top 5 MVP, is it? The Jaylen Brown.
You have enough scorers on the team. I think somebody like what's his name? Jeez, I'm drawing a blank here. Derrick White. I think Derrick White has
very solid defensively.
I think he's more distributor, scorer, team glue. Going to add more chemistry with Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday on the team.
Okay.
That's my only. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that's probably what it was. Or maybe Jalen Brunson and Jaylen Brown. Maybe they need a break. I think Jaylen Brown needs a break. He's been rocking and rolling for what 4 years now straight.
He was mad. He was mad.
Was he mad?
Yeah, he was mad on social media.
It sounds like. I don't know. Why wouldn't they bring him in now?
I don't know. I think Grant Hill, who is the director of Team USA basketball, was saying similar to what you were talking about as far as playmaking and defense, but I think that still didn't come across well to what we saw with Jaylen Brown's response to it. Yeah, he did not take very well to the fact he got overlooked. So, yeah. I don't know. Jalen Brunson, to me, I thought he plays with a lot of heart. I think I would have actually chosen him over both those guys, but that's just me. I mean, that's one thing, Joe. There may be a point in time where Team USA struggles, turnovers like we saw today in the first quarter, but it's the depth that we have as a country, Team USA, that will be ultimately why we win, because our second team is much better than any of these countries' second team, and then so on. If our second team doesn't work, our third team, our last guys coming off the bench, can still be effective and still play at a very high level.
I don't know. I really don't know who's so. I'm used to the I was used to Jerry
Colangelo. Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
For so long, he was after the 04 debacle. In 06 debacle, he started running things and picking the right teams, and they started winning again. But at this point, I don't know. I don't see a team that's stacked the way they are right now be a problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think they might have some challenges, but I think they'll overcome it, and I believe they'll win a gold. And It doesn't matter if it's Jaylen Brown, if it's Brunson, if it's Derrick White. I think anyone they put in at this point is good, because I think the core team is good. The Durants, the LeBrons, the ADs, the Joel Embiid, as long as he's on the floor. Jason Tatum, I don't know how the hell you beat any of those guys really when they're on the same team.
Seemingly looks like on paper, Joe, that they should take advantage of every single opportunity and get the gold. Even with France's front line, you don't think there's going to be an issue?
No.
Okay.
Just AD is going to have some help finally, so he can do what he was doing today. Looked like the defensive player of the year this year. I mean, I should say today he looked like the defensive player of the year type player. He was blocking everything in the first half.
Yeah. Again, that's what you saw today. I agree with you.
What happens when you're able to be free? He was still doing that, even having to deal with no perimeter help. But he's going to be I think it's a very good chance that AD might be the best player on this Olympic team when it's all said and done.
That's usually the way it works out on a good Olympic run, is because they have so many easy games. The second team players usually get the more minutes than the first team players. And usually you'll see the most productivity from someone that's like a 6th, 7th, 8th guy off the bench. Just because of the fact that they have so many good runs and they usually get ahead and play so many teams up by 20, 30. So I agree with you. You could see Anthony Davis taking advantage of it. But are you worried about how much burn both LeBron and AD are going to get?
I am worried already, yes. It's a task. It's travel. It's in Paris. It's after a season where your team didn't do jack squat in improving the team. Yeah, but I'm going to enjoy the games as much as I can. I never fault anyone I don't care if they've played 40 times for their Olympic teams, their World Championship teams, their Pan Am teams. It doesn't matter. Any player who wants to represent the country and win, I will always support them, no matter who it is and how many times they've been there.
Good question.
Except people born from Cameroon and are playing on the team. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Seriously, that's just I'm trying to figure that one out.
You know why. You and I both know why. They needed size after they got burned in FIBA.
I'm telling you guys, man. I'm just going to have to keep talking about it.
I don't think that I may be incorrect on this, Joe, but I don't think Team USA does get paid. If they do get paid, it's something very nominal.
They don't get paid.
Yeah, as Olympic, they're usually because of the fact that from the past is just.
I remember Gary Sheffield back in the day for the World Baseball Classic. He's like, I'm not going there. I don't play for free, but he did it in his Gary Sheffield way.
Thank you, Alan.
And I remember thinking about that going.
Alan actually says that they do get a stipend. So
for winning.
Yeah,
I'm talking about as far as playing in it, they don't get paid.
Well, Jeremy was asking if they get paid for it.
Yeah,
not necessarily. As you can see, it's a small stipend, which is like pocket change for them. But
now is that money paid in French, in euros, or is that dollars?
I would assume dollars, US dollars. But that's just me. So we'll see what happens, my friend. But tonight it was Team USA with the victory 86-72. Again, earlier today, the Lakers did lose 80-76. They're coming to Vegas this weekend, Joe. I don't have high hopes for the team.
Well, I don't know how you could. There's only really 1.5 players on this team that are NBA worthy.
Yeah.
The other half ain't Bronny James either. It's Castleton. Castleton has a half a chance of becoming a regular NBA player. Connect is the full player. That's it. I'm gonna watch Connect in this thing because it doesn't look like coaches are coaching either. Did they run any plays for Connect at all?
Yes, they played most of the plays that they designed was for him. That's
so
why
they did. Okay,
yeah.
Good. I didn't get a chance to see the game except for the last bits at the end, but I would feed him, and I would feed him, and I would feed him more. And if anybody can make themselves worthy of attention, then so be it. But I'm not going to look at this roster or the results of this roster and say that this will say anything other than paying attention to the 17th pick of the draft and knowing that the Lakers quite possibly did get one of the top 5, let's say, players in that draft at 17, and that is a win. So probably the only win that's coming this season, by the way, in terms of, I should say, the offseason, which is sad, but at least we got something.
Well, Jeremy, I think Jeremy says Lakers Summer League is very difficult to watch, and why didn't they let the public or media into the game? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but actually the California Classic at the Chase Center is open to the public. They actually, in fact, there was a contingent there for a couple of the Miami Heat players. It's just that no one goes there. It reminds me of the way Summer League back in the early years here in Vegas, Joe, when I used to go here, it was empty. You would actually go in the Thomas and Mack or the Cox Pavilion, and you could actually go and sit down the risers, and there's NBA GMs to the right and to the left of you back in those days where you could pay like $10-15 and you get all day. And there you go. Now it's like $75-$100 for all day, watching the games. And it's now packed with 10,000 plus people there. So yeah, it's a different thing. But Jeremy, yes, there was no one there. I was telling my daughter that before she left to go watch Team USA. Yeah, they should actually have everybody like they do in wrestling, Joe. When they know that there's a small crowd, push them the opposite of hard camera side, so it looks like the stadium or arena is full. But they didn't bother doing that. So yeah. California Classic, they're going to have to work on trying to get maybe some better teams in there, or
well, it could be the fact that it's in San Francisco, and San Francisco right now is a hollowed out toilet. No one wants to go to San Francisco. I'll go to Vegas, even though it's hot.
Yeah,
Vegas, when it comes to sporting events and shows, I'm okay with, but San Francisco used to be a beautiful place to go. Now it's
I can tell you though that Las Vegas for Team USA's game tonight was very well attended. Take a look if you get a chance at Bobby Marks on his Twitter. He had a picture of the game, and actually my daughter did too. She sent it over to me. It was a pretty massive crowd. It was really good for TNM. Well over 15,000, I believe. It was
TNM.
TNM, Thomas and Mack.
Oh.
Get your mind out of the gutter for just a second. Just a second. But Yaikin says, I guarantee Bronny will play significant minutes this upcoming season in garbage time. That is okay. I'm glad you saved yourself, Yaikin. I'm glad you saved yourself because Joe was going to go off on a rant. He was getting ready. He's warming up.
For what?
Because Yaikin gave us the dipsy do there. I guarantee Bronny will play significant minutes this upcoming season.
Significant minutes? How?
In garbage time, that is. So
significant minutes in garbage time. That means the Lakers are winning games a lot, and how's that going to happen?
Could again, for those that think the Lakers are going to be, this
you all, not you all, a lot of you. Again, I'm also blaming my Laker ball guys right now. My Laker ball guys are really kind of getting mad at me right now. They think I'm obnoxious about this. And what's going to happen is,
how long you been on Lakers ball? They should always know you're obnoxious.
And at this, and this, yeah, but I'm right.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
I'm right.
I just said you are obnoxious.
I'm not wrong about this stuff. This is not stuff I'm wrong in. I watch this stuff too much to be wrong.
What are they saying on Lakers ball?
They really think Bronny's gonna look here. I'll read you one. I can see him developing into an Avery Bradley type player. He has moves. He moves well laterally. I'm like, what? It's just a matter of getting some confidence in his shot. If he puts the work in the G League, he'll stick. I'm like, What? What in the hell are you watching?
Douglas Mike says the Lakers fans are coping. Their youngsters are mid to trash. In many ways, I'm not going to say you're wrong, Douglas, but I think Connect, you should give a chance to give some space for Connect because he's getting used to the new
team
3-point line.
This team has no room for any BS. They need players that play NBA basketball. Aren't they trying to win a championship?
You would think.
That's what this is about. You all keep talking about this. He's going to develop. We don't have time for him to develop. We don't have time for anyone to develop. We have to win a championship now. What develop? Develop when? 2028? I don't understand what's going on here. Like, we don't have time for this. You have 7 players on this roster who can't play.
Let me give you an example of that. Our good friend Stone Hansen at report_court, he was saying today, after watching in that first half, Maxwell Lewis go 0 for 10. So over the course of 2 games, he had gone 0 for 18. And he said, it's going to take some time. It's going to take another year of the G League. This is the second round pick from last year. And you're saying, Stone, that he's going to need another full year in the G League to develop? LeBron is 40.
We don't have time.
Don't have time.
We didn't have time last year for this shit. The team has to win championships. Otherwise, what's the point of this? Does that make sense for everybody? The fact that numbskull, Rob Pelinka, is talking about, well, because of the new CBA, that means it's going to make it much harder for us to trade players. You have Golden State, you had Boston, you had Philly, you had all these teams trading left and right. I know signing people is not something we can
OKC.
do. OKC, they're all over the cap. They're all stuck, too, in the new CBA. How come they're making it work? Excuses, 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 because you suck at your job and you keep getting more people that suck ass on the team. And not only are you doing that, you're signing them for $8 million a year. And then you're guaranteeing a 55th pick who's a project, 3 years guaranteed. So you can't sit there and tell me it's a project. But guys on Lakers ball, it's a project. Well, how the hell is a project when you just gave them 3 years guaranteed? It's got to be one or the other. You think I'm not paying attention? You think I can't comprehend what you're saying? You think I don't know what you're talking about? You really think I don't know the details of this? You think I don't know this roster like I know this? Guys, 89 games last year. I saw every one of them. And then on top of that, we talked about it for 2 to 3 hours every night. What are you going to tell me that I don't know? What are you seeing? Because a lot of you did the same thing. What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? It's because you're delusional. And it's not just the Lakers. This is society. This is life. People are delusional. They get into relationships. They see something brewing and they let it go. They're like, maybe it'll work out. Screw that. I don't wait for anyone. When you're 46 years old and you get life's experiences, if you're not getting life's experiences by the time you're 46, you might as well just go stay with your parents until they pass away at that point. You might as well just live that life, okay? Because you're never going to be an adult. Folks, the truth is the truth. Fantasy, if you want to play video games, you want to live in that world, you want to read comic books, you want to watch superhero movies, God bless you, do that. I love playing video games when I have a moment. Absolutely. I love superhero movies. I love them. Okay? I don't read comic books as much as most. I have read them. I think some of them are great. But guess what, folks? When those stories are done, I come back to real life. So you all got to wake up, man. You can't tell me this is a project and then the guy gets paid. You want to know something, guys? You want to know something? Here, I saved this for you all when I saw it today. Last year's 55th pick was Isaiah Wong. His rookie contract was a two-way contract for $560,000. Bronny's is a 4-year, $7.9 million contract. All the money is guaranteed the first 3 years. The fourth year is a team option. So it's a 3-year guaranteed contract for the same pick a year later in one of the worst drafts in projection. And you're telling me you're going to sit there and insult my intelligence and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? That this wasn't all a scam? That this is all not negotiated? This is all brain? Look, man, you got to, when you waste your time with stuff that doesn't matter, you have any idea how backwards you get in shit that you need to get done? So let's use video games as an example. If I have 5 projects I'm working on and I need to complete these in a week and I'm playing video games for 12 hours for the next 3 nights, how do you think that those projects are going to go? Are you going to sit there and tell me, well, Joe, you need your rest. You're tired. No. Those jobs don't get completed. They don't get completed if I'm playing video games. You understand the difference? You getting the concept yet? It's the same thing here. You're worried about this damn guy signing him to this contract, worried about his dad and what he thinks. What's that going to do? You're not paying attention to get the players you need on this team. Is it that hard to understand? You're not focused on getting the players you need. And guess what happened this summer? We didn't get shit. We got a 17th draft pick. That's it. We didn't do anything.
And I'm telling you, Joe, you're just going to have to keep reiterating it. It is going to be Groundhog Day. That's what I tried to throw the Team USA stuff and other things in there for you, as well as our audience, because that's all they want to talk about. Bronny. Your Lakers ball, guys, sound like that's all they want to talk about is the hope they have for Bronny James.
Just an absolute waste of existence at this point. Why do people care about this stuff? Seriously, how dull is your life? Why do you care about what some guy's family's doing? You think LeBron James gives 2 shits about you and your family? Why do you care? I'm here to watch the Lakers win games and be competitive. I'm not here at a family reunion. I just don't get people out there. I don't get why some of these people live this kind of thought. I don't get it.
You are correct, Eric. It is terrible when he's talked about more than every prospect in the whole draft class. I have to drive up the freeways, Joe, with the digital billboards. And one of the things I see is a advertisement for Summer League. Guess who's the guy right smack dab in the front center? It's not one of the first round guys. It's not one of the first picks in the draft. It's not Zach Edey. It's not Dalton Connect. It's Bronny James. What do I see on ESPN? Bronny James.
The beautiful thing about sports is those guys that see it, I'm hoping you all are taking it in, because I would bust his ass. Just like I keep telling you guys, if I'm a coach or whatever team I'm on, and I'm telling everybody on that team when we're playing the Lakers, I'm like, you see that guy, you see a little trout, and we're a bunch of sharks, that trout is done. And that's what Bronny James is. He's a little trout. Your daddy ain't going to save you. JJ Redick ain't going to save. Well, actually, JJ Redick could save him. Well, technically, LeBron could save him by telling JJ to take him out, because that's how they run things over there, I think. But the second that kid's in that game, it is relentless. I would be all up there. I would be all up there and telling and making sure LeBron, JJ Redick, Rob Pelinka, Genie, wherever the hell they are, wherever they're sitting, whatever they're doing, I'd be very clear on making sure that they understand that you are now sending this sacrificial lamb to the wolves, and we're going to eat him and carve him up, is how my boy Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Scott Hall, used to say.
As the toothpick came out.
I got my little toothpick here, but it's not the real toothpick.
It's the plastic. It's so funny because I go to the store the other night to look for those because you had to buy. Man, they're expensive. Like $8 for like 300 of them. So yeah, man. But you need them. You use
and
them.
They'll last a while. Those bags last a while.
Yeah, they do.
I do. My sister hates them because she used to work in a dental office for 10 years. I don't know if your son is.
My son recommends them.
Yeah, see, for some reason, my sister says they're not actually good for you, but I can't walk around like this. I'm in the car. I can't do. This is one hand. Yeah. But it's once you start flossing, you can't ever stop.
Flossing's good. Yeah, I mean, my son said it works out well. He said So I don't.
Good. Keeping the teeth clean. I don't drink coffee, so I don't have to worry about the stains.
Yes.
I don't smoke except for cigars, maybe 5 to 10 a year. So I use Sensodyne, and I'll use some whitening toothpaste every now and then as well. The teeth's gonna look good.
And keep them strong, man. There you go. Keep them strong indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Team USA did pull away for an 86-72 victory. Joe, again, we will not see Team USA until Abu Dhabi next Monday in the morning. I don't know if we'll do a wrap up that early. I think we'll do it later in the day because 9 a.m. in the morning for a game is, I don't know, kind of weird how that works out. But again, it is Abu Dhabi. Your thoughts, my friend, on what will stop Team USA? I don't think anything will. I think they have just too much depth. And as seeing them tonight against one of the better teams that's out there internationally, I don't see much opposition for, if they play how they are supposed to play.
Well, Durant didn't play today. You didn't miss a beat. I don't know how you're going to beat LeBron, Steph, AD, Joel Embiid, KD, Booker.
They're only playing 19, 20 minutes a game.
These guys are the cream of they're the cream of the crop. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't if one goes down, it doesn't matter. I mean, Kawhi Leonard gave it the old college try, and his leg's like, nah, sorry, bud. So my advice to Kawhi Leonard, honestly, is, dude, retire. You want to walk later, dude. Don't do what Ronnie Coleman did. Don't fight through this. Your knee is telling you you're not playing. You shouldn't be playing basketball right now. Unless he wants to take the first 41 games off. And at this point with the Clippers and the current structure of the Clippers, it might be a good idea. But he's done, guys. His knee is kaput unless he can put some adamantium in there or go to Germany or Mexico, do some kind of stem cell thing. But then at that point, you still need time to rehab and do whatever. And I'm sure he's had that option anyways. He's got the money to do all that. He's probably got good doctors to tell him what's going on. It's just, it's not working. Body ain't responding to the knee. I think he should retire. I really, really think he should retire. And as far as the USA team, it doesn't matter. If LeBron, I don't know, let's say he tweaks his ankle, he'll still win. What? They'll put KD in there instead of him, or they'll put Booker in there instead of him. I don't see. We'll see some competitive games against France and maybe Greece. I don't know, but I just don't see them losing. I think there's too much talent there.
Do you think that we will be able to go ahead unscathed? Do you think it's just undefeated all the way? Or do you think there'll be a slip up along the way?
I don't know. I think that's going to come down to, will this team take every game as a threat? Or will they get lackadaisical and think we're hot stuff, we'll get through it? If that happens, that's usually not a good sign when it's a team led by like a LeBron James type team and things like that. That's one of the things I don't like about LeBron James is when he takes it easy, that's when you see his weakness. And of course, KD being who he is, KD, the second you get to him mentally, he checks out.
Intel, he has not started drinking without you, Intel. So funny.
Intel, I don't need to drink to turn it on. I'm on every minute, every second of the day, unless I'm sleeping.
Just have them get to Lakers ball to have them start talking about Bronny. That seems to get him going. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know it was that delusional.
It's pretty bad. And it's starting to resonate because what happens when a lie keeps being told over and over again? Mm-hmm. At some point, that's what they say, right? To say the same lie over and over again. And what happens is the mental weaklings, sorry, folks, it is what it is, start to believe it because they keep hearing it. And I'm sorry, folks, you're going to hear it and then you're going to see it. Oh, you'll see it. Oh, you're going to see it. And it's going to be embarrassing. And your team is going to be the butt of the joke. And it's going to be the whole ass joke. The whole butt. And then what? Are you going to get defensive? Are you going to start projecting? When you're wrong, you're going to start making excuses. Because my gripe isn't about that guy. It's about the lack of talent that this team has, and you wasted time on guys that are not talented. If the Lakers had just come off a championship and their roster was intact and they were just going to add a few things here and there, I'd be like, all right, why not? I'm cool with that story. Yeah, sure. I have a heart. I got a kid too. But you're not in the position to do that right now. You have won two series in 4 seasons. And yet you're worried about some guy who couldn't even score 5 points in college. You see where I'm getting at, folks? Is it really that hard to understand? He doesn't have any talent. I'm sorry, he doesn't. I don't know where this lateral defensive instinct garbage came from. Defensive instinct? Where? Why? Because he was in a lane one time and the ball came to him? He stepped up. He's got instincts. The ball came to him. The guy made the bad pass.
Frank says it's crazy how highlight videos of
you want to see defensive instinct? Watch the last 2 minutes of today's game. How many times did the Lakers fumble and stumble and bumble and got the ball stolen from them? That was defensive specialist type stuff. Or it could have just been that the Lakers stuck ass and it just gave them the ball. That could be argued too. It was terrible ball control. Just terrible basketball. I mean, as bad as it can get in the last 2 minutes. In the last 2 minutes, they lost. They lost. They were up. What was it? Up 10? Weren't they up 10? They lost by 2.
No, they were up by 8 and they lost by 4. So they gave up the last 12 points of the game.
So they went on a 12-0 run against them.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas, I hope this is the last year for LeBron. I really do. But I have a hard time believing he's going to turn down $50 million after next year. I think what would have to happen, maybe, is if the Lakers finish 40-42 and miss the playoffs, there might be a chance where he says, like, you know what, screw this, I'm out. But I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
Well, Logical Brother, you say that Joe talks bad about a 55th pick. 9 out of the last 10 55th picks have not made a significant contribution. They didn't get a second contract. Only Aaron Wiggins has ever gotten in the last 10 years that were picked number 55, a second contract in the league. So
I feel good talking about how inept our team is, that they are focused on a 19-year-old who can't help them. And you are saying I'm dogging on a kid. You are, not me. I'm not dogging on Bronny James. I don't care. I don't care about Bronny James. I don't care what he does. This is a management and a player like LeBron James's fault, and I'm calling them out. This team needed talent. They didn't need a social case. Okay, they didn't need to start running an adoption agency. This team needed talent. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to repeat it again. This team needed talent. This kid does not belong in the NBA. And let's say he is an NBA player. We don't have goddamn time to develop anyone right now.
But I would also ask our newer viewers to maybe go ahead and reflect back on this time last year at Summer League when Joe and I were quite brutally honest about JHS and Maxwell Lewis. Maxwell Lewis had 3 games last year. He didn't even start for the team until the last game of Summer League, and he got 3 donuts, 3 games of 0 points. JHS looked continuously awful. We were just as hard on them, especially JHS, then as we are hard on Bronny James now.
Kobe Bryant was starting the All-Star game at 19. He wasn't even a starter. And he was getting alley-oops from KG, going one-on-one with Michael Jordan, scoring on Michael scoring on him. When you guys know the difference, come talk to me. Because y'all don't just get it. Some of you just don't get it. You're all in your own world. I'm on Earth, folks. I know the limitations of man, and I definitely know the limitations of NBA players.
And Logical, we were hard on his defense, Dalton Connect's defense today. Check out our post game earlier today. I told you, I said out there that he will only stay on the floor if his defense becomes passable or average at best. Right now, it's really bad. Him and Maxwell Lewis were terrible. They could not keep anyone in front of them as far as the entire California Classic, not just today, the entire California Classic. Lewis and Dalton Connect were terrible man-to-man defense. Bronny, a little bit better defensively man-to-man, but then, of course, the highlights are going to be about what happened with the Williams kid on Miami, doing the dribble through the legs, spinning around Bronny and getting the and one on him. I know a lot of people are going to show that highlight because, as Joe said, people are going to target him. People are going to use him as a target, and they're going to try to go ahead and get famous off him for clicks, memes, videos, whatever. They're going to try and focus in on trying to get Bronny.
And that's not that's chicken shit, by the way. You all need to criticize Pelinka and LeBron and Genie. This isn't Bronny's fault. The only ones that I'm saying go after Bronny because that he's in the game, you got to do it, is the guys that are going to be playing. You got to go after him. You got to make those 3 see it.
Dalton Connect's got to play better on the defensive end, or else he is not going to be able to get time on the floor. It's just that simple. He cannot be the turnstile he has been in the first 3 games. Kid's got a nice stroke. The form looks good. It's still not falling in as of yet. Played better today, 20 points, but still didn't shoot very well, especially when we need him to tie the game. He had the elbow jumper, open look, and he didn't come close. So those things he's got to shore up in his game. But yeah, defensively, even if he becomes passable, Joe, I think that will keep him on the floor because I think eventually he'll find the stroke. It's will he be able to defend even at an adequate level? That's what I'm worried about.
If Austin Reeves eventually could, I believe Dalton has more athleticism than Austin Reeves. I don't see a reason why he won't be at least average. We just need him to be an average defender, and then Bojan Bogdanovic. We get a player like that from Connect, then we hit a lottery pick at 17.
Daniel says, since we talk about the rest of the NBA, which we do, we'd like to, what do you guys think of the chances are of Mavs landing DSJ?
Mavs letting DSG if what?
DSJ.
Mavs?
Yes. He was asking about the Mavs.
Intel asked this?
No, Daniel in our chat. Daniel N.
Oh, hold on, let me look.
Intel's actually, I got him as a super chat, and thank you for the super chat, Intel.
How come I can't see Daniel's?
You got to scroll up a little bit. He's right before Douglas Mike.
Oh, well, Dennis Smith Jr. is. I don't think Dallas wants him.
Solid defensive guard, but with Dante Exum and you got Grimes that just came in there. Where would DSJ really be able to fit?
I don't know.
As a 14th guy, I guess, could be worse, but bringing him back to where he all started. I think he was a draft pick of Dallas, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, he's actually resurrected his career, I believe, in Charlotte and Brooklyn. So that wouldn't be so bad as far as a defensive guy coming off the bench. But also, I think you guys got to worry about getting more wings in Dallas. I think personally, I'm worried for you guys about Klay Thompson. Can he defend? We talked about Dalton Connect, not whether or not he can defend. Yeah, they've got to worry if Klay Thompson can be able to defend at the small forward position, because that's where he is going to be this upcoming season. So see how that goes, because Jones Jr. signed with the Clippers, so that was a big hit for them defensively. I know the Clippers. Yeah. Speaking of the Clippers, Intel Wild has Kawhi. His career is a joke after the Spurs and 1 year with the Raptors. Got lucky with Klay and KD being hurt.
I wouldn't say it was a joke. If they just closed out Denver in 2020, they would have met the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. That was the year. That was the year where they could have done something. And then after that, his knees started going south. He would have never stayed in Toronto, and I wasn't expecting that. But what would have helped his career, we talked about this last week, is he should have went to the Lakers. He would not have had to have killed himself the last 4 years. And he would have likely won for sure, too. I would say guaranteed the Lakers would have won 2 championships with him there with LeBron and AD, and then maybe 3, because he would not have had to have shouldered the load at all. And he would have been epic towards the end of the year for them, because they would have been able to put Kawhi on defense and his three-point shooting and his mid-range shooting. Woo! Man, all those games that they were clanking in the end, that would have never happened with Kawhi on the team.
Eric's saying our centers we're trading for when they're making $20 million a year.
You can thank his uncle for that. He's the one that screwed this up. Never listen to numbnuts, folks. That includes your family members.
Capella, I know he's in the last year of his contract. Aaron Vucevic, man, Vucevic fell hard last year. I don't know. I know he played here. I know he played at USC, but man, Vucevic taking on that contract was about 25. It's not super huge, but all these centers are getting overpaid, Joe. Nick Claxton got a $100 million contract. I mentioned earlier today, Goga Batadze, who was waived by Indiana and resurrected by Orlando. He got almost a $10 million a year contract. So centers are, at least competent centers, are becoming a valuable thing once again in the NBA, Joe.
They're trying to combat Embiid's, Jokic's, right?
Yep.
Looking at Orlando gave Franz Wagner, what, $200 million?
Yeah, and his brother, they were still resigned on the team.
Fuck. Cade Cunningham got a $200 million contract for what?
That one was that's not the hardest one for me to believe, but that one was still, I would not have given him the full. I don't think he's been healthy enough to give him the full max. But if you're Detroit, what do? You know what I mean? Bloodhound, yes, I did forget to mention that came up earlier today. The rumors are that the NBA has finalized their contract, Joe, for the TV for the next 11 years. It looks to be 76 to $78 billion. Intel Wild, the super chat. I love the term jack squat. It's basically saying F off or means nothing. But yes, Joe, before we head on out, can you comment on the leagues actually coming to terms on a new TV contract for next 11 years? Looks seemingly 76 to $78 billion. I've seen those two different numbers bandied, but you're probably right. It was $76 billion.
I'm trying to think what the only part I don't like is I don't like the Peacock games. You have to now get another goddamn app to watch the Peacock games on Monday. So now I have to, find another way to watch the Peacock channel. I have other ways to do it without having to pay for a stupid app. I already have Prime. I've had Prime for years. And then I get Apple TV, Netflix, and Hulu for free through my cell service. I wouldn't say it's free. They incorporate it in the monthly payment, of course. But I would never pay for it separately. I still have DirecTV. I still pay for DirecTV because I like the convenience of the DVR, and I like to actually turn the TV on and watch stuff on TV instead of going, let's see, what are the 400 apps I can go to so I can watch what I want? Who the hell decided to think that was going to be a good idea? Especially when it comes to sports. Why do we have to download and have a password and do all this for one damn league? You greedy pieces of shit. I'm so happy that the NFL is getting ass pounded right now from that antitrust deal. They have to fork out $400 million per team to pay back the scam they pulled with DirecTV and all these providers. There is justice sometimes. Greed. These guys are so greedy. And we support this. That's the thing that sucks about it. We still support these bums. But I do like the NBA on NBC back. We're going to get a chance to hear John Tesh's music again. So I'm looking forward to hearing that tune again.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. I want to thank you so much for listening. The Team USA started off its run, hopefully towards the goal for its gold medal, hopefully, with a easy and comfortable victory tonight. I believe 86-72 was the final score. AD, star of the game with 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 block shots. Joe, it'll be an interesting weekend because starting on Friday, the Lakers are back in action in Las Vegas, 120-degree heat against the Houston Rockets, quite possibly against a player that we desperately wanted on the team in Cam Whitmore before we head on out.
Still talking about this?
Yeah. Cam Whitmore, they will be playing against. At least I think in the first game, Cam Whitmore will play. I don't think he'll play in all the games, but Cam Whitmore is expected to play for Houston on Friday.
I think we've scrubbed and washed and bleached that subject to its core. The Lakers wasted a year of drafting last year, and then they wasted a second-round pick. So their 4 draft picks, they absolutely flushed 3 of the 4 in the toilet. In areas where they needed talent, as much of a reach as it was, that's the only control you had in adding talent, and you pissed it away 3 out of 4 times. for reasons I can't understand.
How is he overrated? He's a number 20 draft pick that averaged, I believe, in double figures last season for Houston.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see Cam Whitmore really play this year, and then we'll see if he's overrated. Houston's going to be a team that's going to be competitive. So if we end up going through the year and seeing that Houston ended up jumping the Lakers and the Lakers don't make it, and then we start seeing Cam Whitmore at 18 points a game, then you're really going to know who he is, and you're really going to know the rating of him.
Again, they have a productive player that's scoring and making a contribution, and we have a guy that couldn't give us anything all season long and played so well in the G League he had back surgery and is not even playing this year in Summer League. So
yeah, the irony in that is a lot of teams weren't picking Cam Whitmore because of his health. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers end up getting a guy that has back surgery at age 19. I guarantee you, if we had a chance to do an inventory check, if we hired the Bobs from Office Space and they went around the Lakers organization for...
By the way, happy 25th anniversary to Office Space.
Absolutely. The last VHS movie I watched was Office Space in 2021. 2021. My buddy Vinny was a huge fan, and I hadn't watched it at that time, so it's been a couple years since the movie had come out. He said something about it. So I haven't seen it. He said, "Oh, Joey, you got to see it. You got to see Office Space. I'll let you borrow the tape." I watched that movie every night before I went to bed for a month. Sometimes I would watch it all the way through. Sometimes I'd fall asleep halfway through, but I probably watched it from beginning to end. Out of the 30 days, I probably watched it from beginning to end before I went to sleep, probably 18 to 20 times. Absolute gem of a movie. And the Lakers, if they had the Bobs doing efficiency investigation, if you will, on their operation, I bet you they'd come back and say, no one's doing really any scouting that matters anymore. No one is going to any specific gyms. Jeannie's too busy cleaning up dog shit in her office. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Jay Moore is probably doing cartwheels in there, doing whatever the hell it is eating probably, 6 or 7 times a day. Rob Pelinka can't even comb his hair, so God knows what he's doing in there. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, I don't know what those guys do in LA or if they hang out in LA during the off season. But I bet you if there were efficiency experts on this, I bet you they'd come back with an F and probably want to fire everyone, including Jeannie.
And on that note, we'll set up Summer League for you tomorrow before they actually do play on Friday.
Aren't you guys glad you watched the show and feel happy thoughts?
Christopher says, what's your favorite Michael Bolton song?
I'm going to have to say all of them. I'm going
to have to say none
fan.
of them.
That's a line from the movie, folks. It's not that.
Lakers have no money to make a move right now. So all those people that you want to pick up, we can't do it until the Lakers actually get some of the players off the team. Maxwell Lewis, JHS, Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, Cam Reddish. All these players who aren't expected to make a big contribution. Again, you might want to consider getting them off your team so that you can put in players that might make a better contribution.
You see, $7,000. That's the sad part about the Lakers is even if something were to happen and they end up tanking, not purposely, but LeBron gets hurt, AD's out for the year, something weird like that, they can't even tank to go get Cooper Flag because their pick belongs to New Orleans. So we have to deal with that again.
I know Brandon Ingram's name came up again. I'm just going to say this. These teams are scared to make trades that will put them into a certain cap, whether it's the first tax apron for some or the second tax apron for others, Daniel. And if you don't act fast, like what we saw with DeRozan and some other these teams that acted fast in making moves, if you don't act fast, you're going to be left behind, because these teams, a lot of these teams are reluctant to make moves now because, as Joe, has indicated, they are very reluctant to get into that cap. They had to ask LeBron for a pay cut in order for the Lakers instance to get below the cap. So if you're trying to make a trade with a team, you're going to have to go ahead and be very careful about not getting over the cap. And then with Ingram, I think also how many picks does New Orleans want? Does David Griffin, want a whole ton of picks for him, like he just saw Mikal Bridges going from Brooklyn to New York for 6 picks? I think it was 5 picks and a pick swap. They're not going to get that for Brandon Ingram. Sorry. And so they're caught between a rock and a hard place, Joe, because he's extension eligible, and I'm not even sure if New Orleans is going to offer him an extension.
I'm still trying to figure out why some of these players are getting $200 million contracts, and I definitely wouldn't pay Brandon Ingram anywhere near that money. Some of these guys are just getting paid way too much money.
I just think it's not a very good fit, Daniel, because you've got Murray, you've got Ingram, you've got CJ McCollum, you've got the younger players. Trey Murphy is really good. You need to get him some time. Herb Jones, he's really good too as far as a defense stopper for you. They still need a big guy in the middle because they let Valanciunas walk. Who is going to play their center for them right now? So I think they need to figure that out, and I think they're trying to use Ingram as the guy to trade. Although I'm just Murray and CJ McCollum, I don't know how those two are going to fit well. I think CJ McCollum is going to have to come off the bench, and I'm not sure he's going to love that.
New Orleans, another team that I just don't care for.
Yeah, I mean, they got Tice out the scrap heap, but Daniel Tice is your starting center. Yeah, that's not the best option for New Orleans if you're really trying to make a serious run in the Western Conference.
They'll sign him. He's probably going to have to sign what New Orleans wants to give him if no one else wants him. And Zion,
or just let it play out.
Zion needs to drop to 240.
I don't think he can go that low. I don't think he'll lose that much. Maybe 250, 260.
240. If that man goes down to 240 ripped, ooh, his joints and legs and knees and calves will thank him.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, but I'm not sure he can get down that low. But
I think you make it happen. You have to make it happen, otherwise he's not going to have a career. He has got talent, man. You got to drop down to 240. You have to drop down to 240. Look at Charles Barkley in 1993. He looked skinny. He was skinny. You got to get skinny. You got to get skinny, otherwise you're not going to have a chance.
So we're going to end the show this way with the last question from Div X-Ray. Lakers Fast Break, what is your prediction for contenders in the West this coming season? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and say
I'd be better
OKC. Go ahead.
It would be better if we asked that question at the beginning of training camp.
But let's just say as of now. Let's say no one else makes a move. Let's just say as of now, because this is subject to change, everyone. But let's say as of now. OKC, they won 57 games last year, and they improved by getting Hartenstein and Caruso. So you're going to say they're a contender. Denver, as long as Jokic and Murray stay healthy, I think you could say they're a contender, correct?
Who?
Denver.
Oh yeah.
Minnesota, as long as you've got Cat and Edwards there.
Contender, yes.
What about the Clippers?
No. Clippers are going to be one that goes down.
How far down?
Probably out of the
Because they were
playoffs.
last year.
Yeah, probably out of the playoffs, unless they make a transaction that helps them during the year.
Okay,
But I don't even know if
those are
that'll
all-
help because Kawhi's not going to be able to play a full year.
What do you think Dallas fits into this equation?
Dallas will be there. Dallas will be there. The Suns are in the same boat. The Suns are in the same boat with the Lakers. They'll win games, but I don't know how consistent they can be without any depth.
So do you see those two, because they were 6th, 7th last year, because the Lakers won the spot to get the 7th. So do you still see them at 6th, 7th, or do you see it possibly, as of now, getting a little bit lower for those two teams, Phoenix?
Well, I believe the Warriors got a little bit better.
Okay. I think the Kings got a little bit better.
The Kings got better. The Pelicans, depending on what happens, I think they're going to re-sign Brandon Ingram because he's not going to have a choice, and then they'll be.
No, he's not a. He's still got 1 year left, Joe. He's extension eligible too, so he's got one.
He's going to have to either play out the year or sign an extension that they want to give him. Is my guess.
Okay.
I believe the Rockets are going to come up, so that means there's going to be 11 teams that are going to be competitive, but the Clippers are probably going to drop off a lot, and the Suns are kind of going to drop. I don't know. They can drop or stay the same like the Lakers. Then you have to worry.
I still think you got to worry about. I still think you got to worry about the Grizzlies.
Okay, so if Ja Morant becomes useful without his stupidity or any injuries, then they're going to possibly be something there too. The Jazz. I don't think the Jazz, the Spurs, or the Blazers are gonna be a problem.
Some people are thinking that the Spurs may get to 35, 40 wins.
If that happens, the Lakers are toast in the Western Conference.
7 Grand says, "Can the Lakers get Steven Adams? Would you really want Steven Adams after the ACL injury that he's had?
No, they can't get him.
He was so durable for so long, Joe, and just yeah.
The Lakers are not likely to be able to get anybody. It's just not in the cards. It's over.
I'm gonna see what his contract is. I think he's got 1 year left on this contract. It is. Let me see. It is 12 and a half. Let me see him figure it out right now.
The Lakers were 1 game ahead of the Kings and the Warriors, who finished 9 and 10. And the Kings and the Warriors both had better off seasons, and I believe will have a better year than the Lakers, unless the Lakers figure out a miracle in terms of talent acquisition or addition.
And you're talking about another full healthy year for LeBron and AD.
I don't know.
That's a tough ask. According to
I know what's going on. The Lakers brass think that JJ Redick will win them 5 more games. If they had 5 more games, they would have had 52 wins last year, and they would have been the 4th seed. They really believe that. You never compare a previous year to the next year. That's a very bad. That's very, very bad philosophy on how to gauge a team. The only way you can gauge a team's performance year to year is how do you make the roster better? How are players developing better? And right now, what young player right now on this team is going to be significantly better this coming year than this last year? Significantly. If you're holding your head up for Max Christie, oof, you're gonna need to get a neck brace at some point. And of course, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, they could slightly get better, but they're kind of who they are.
This team would be so much better if you could utilize Rui and Austin coming off the bench.
I don't see how you can do that when you don't have starters.
Well, you don't have talent. I'm just saying this much better, much better.
Of course they would, but this team doesn't have enough talent.
But yeah, exactly. You still don't have
No.
the pieces, so in order to do so. So, do want to thank everybody for joining us once again. The Team USA started off their road to the gold with a victory over Team Canada, 86-72. We'll be back tomorrow night to preview the Lakers heading to Vegas in Summer League, which should be more talk about Bronny. I cannot believe, Joe, again, he's on the front of the billboards. That's how bad this draft is as far as from a name perspective when he's the guy that you're seeing. It's just that bad. Yeah.
Yep, got to keep bringing him up, and it's going to sound like I'm dogging on him, and everyone's going to get butthurt. But
then you'll be right.
I'll keep reminding you all that it has nothing to do with him. They could have avoided this by just playing it smart, but they're not.
Darren says we need Bronny and Connect and Castleton to get shots. I could agree with 2/3 of that statement. Bronny just gets lost and gets invisible. He doesn't want to take shots. He's just not aggressive. So
yeah,
we will see what happens.
He apparently knows how to read passing lanes, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that is. What's your definition of passing lanes?
Off-ball defense, is that a better way of saying it?
Somebody needs to give me clips of that because I watched the first two games. Well, the first game. And then the last 2 minutes of this game today, I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Okay. Well, I watched again. Like I said, he got his hand on some balls. Quick hands. But again, it's not. It takes more than just quick hands to go ahead and be able to play in the NBA. So, him offensively, he just does not look like he has confidence in his shot at all. So, plus he's small, 6'2", and he's playing the off guard position. So he's literally going to be backed up, and he's going to be smaller than anybody he plays. So,
mm-hmm. Yep. Good luck.
Good luck indeed. But once again, we'll preview the Lakers in Summer League tomorrow. Looking forward to that. So this weekend, the Lakers head over to the Thomas and Mack and the Cox Pavilion. It is, of course, Summer League. We'll go ahead and be able to cover that. Spurs are tanking again. I don't think the Spurs are going to tank. I think they're actually going to try Etrix to win 30, 35 games. So we'll see. Unless Wembanyama gets hurt. If Wembanyama gets hurt, that's a different story. So, yeah, OKC looks pretty good. They've got depth. They've got youth. They've got talent. They're hungry. And they added Caruso, a winner and a champion, and Hartenstein, who has a lot of heart. So, pretty good. Pretty good. So, not impossible. I mean, they're not on paper. They look like they're going to be the number one team during the regular season. So, again, but we'll see. Joe, any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
No.
All right. And on that note, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Thanks so much again for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow for more great chat and more talk about Bronny. Whether you like it or not, it probably won't be the way you want to hear it, but it is the truth. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but of course we tell it to you each and every day right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.